Now, some people could be buried because all that expectation that has started when you're 5 years old, and now, oh my goodness, I really am here. Look around. But that's not you either, is it? You just love it, don't you?
I do. I love people. I love socialising. I love football. I love football more than anything. Apart from my wife Lynn. I'm sorry, love. But no, seriously, I do. I just like enjoying myself and being part of it and having fun and winning the FA Cup finally. It was fun in the end of the day, with lovely people. You know, with little Stokesy and Mickey. You know, still my great mates, Mel Blythe, Steely, and we're still very friendly. It's great. They're a great bunch of lads. We had 4 or 5 years together and we did ever so well. We got Saints up to the First Division, which they've been there for the last 25 years. And we were part of it and we will never be forgotten. And that's lovely. That really is a lovely feeling.
Right, let's start just a little bit about the build-up to the Cup. So what was the week before like? Where did you go? What happened?
Well, we went to Selsdon Park. I think we stayed at Selsdon Park, yes, and over at Croydon Way. And we just did the normal things, really. We trained every day. I think we played 9 holes at one day, had a little bit of golf. And then on the Thursday, I couldn't believe it, Laurie Mack said, you know, the governor, he said, if you want to go out for a drink tonight, go and have a drink, but don't be too late. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, that's incredible. But I think Steely and Jimmy Mack went out. On one of these few days, I got to put my hands up and say I never went out. And they came back and they only had a couple of pints. But Laurie was so relaxed about it all and gave us the great preparation, if you want. And he knew what this team could do. He knew what we had to do, and he put us in the right direction all the time. And he was awesome.
So you're in the tunnel, ready to go. You're looking opposite you. You're looking at that Man United side. What did you see there?
Saw fear. And they were there. We were 6-1 underdogs. And they looked at us, and we were all happy, chirpy, laughing and joking as we are always the way. That's the way we played football. That's the way we were off the pitch. We knew we could deliver. We knew we had a good side. We had lots of experience. You know, we had Mel Blythe, Steely and Rodriguez at the back. We had myself and Shannon and Jim McCalliog. So we knew we had the experience. We had the young players to do our little bit of work for us, like Peachy, Nick Holmes, Paul Gilchrist, Luke Stokes. He was still very, very fit in them days anyway. So basically, we were very confident. We never thought we were going to get beat in that game. And it wasn't a surprise when we won it, to be honest.
They really were scared?
Yes, they looked at. We waved to I waved to the wife and the girlfriend in the crowd, I think, that day. I think they were both there. But it was that sort of day. We just went out there for fun. We knew we could play. We knew we could, if we played to our capabilities, and which we knew we could do, we had the right blend. Laurie had done that for us. He gave us a good team talk. Just go and play your own game. Don't worry about them. You know, go and do it. Go and enjoy it, and go and please the fans and please yourselves. That's what we did.
So it's done. You got it. It's all over. Now, do you think I've got to take this all in, or just do you?
Well, I'd been there before. He was one of the fortunate ones that had been in the 70, but we didn't win it there. We had to go to a replay with Chelsea, obviously against Leeds, and to win it there is fantastic. And the fans were brilliant, absolutely superb. We were the underdogs, 6-1 underdogs. And when you walked up the steps, you know, that was the big moment. And you walked up there and you could pinch yourself thinking, have we really done it? But when Pedro picked the cup up and showed it to the crowd, fantastic. I always got third. I always go out third on the pitch, and I always go third at wherever any presentations which we've been on. It's very embarrassing because every time.
Why is that? Why?
I don't know. Just a silly thing. Why? I'm not superstitious at all. I'm really not. But I just used to go out third every time, and I went up the steps third, and it's very embarrassing because every time I meet the royal family, they always give me a medal. It really is, And I think it was the last time the Queen was at Wembley as well in '76. I think that's the last time she attended, and she thought, we can't watch a better team play at Wembley than this. So, but it was fantastic. I always remember Pedro lifting the cup and the crowd going berserk. And then as we walked through, I got my medal off the Queen and shook her hand. And I just
hope you wiped it.
Oh no, you're joking. I know. It was fantastic feeling. It was a buzz, even for the Oz who'd been through a few. But as I walked down up to the end, there was a photographer there, all the cameras was there, and my dad wasn't very well at the time. And I said, "That's for you, Dad." It's a lovely feeling.
Mm. So do you remember where you were at, where in the order when everyone was walking up? Where were you? Front, back, middle?
I really couldn't tell you. Knowing me, I was probably at the back, because if you look at all the pictures of the team when they did their lap of honour and the cup was there, you will never see me in any of them. because I was 50 yards behind, dragging my feet behind everyone, waving to every Tom, Dick and Harry in the stand, and I don't think you'll ever see me in one of those pictures.
Got to ask you, you walk up those steps and you see that thing and you're about to pick it up. You're about to shake hands with someone rather important. What's it like?
Player's dream. Even when I hadn't reached the cup final, you always look and you watch every cup final that's going, and you look and you see that player do it and you think that must be fabulous. And like you say, all of a sudden you're there.
And it's you.
And it's me. And you can't take it on board.
So you go up there and it's not anyone at the top of those steps that you're going to meet. What do you feel like?
Yeah, it was the Queen. And she was dressed in blue, which hurt me a little bit because she should have been dressed in red and white or something, shouldn't she?
You've touched on Chelsea and the difference. Obviously, that first win with Chelsea would personally have been very special for you because you broke a record. You were a goal-scoring great, literally, in that cup run.
Yes, I mean it's always special when you win things in life, and we won the League Cup in '64-65 season, I think it was, with Chelsea, and then we went on to win the FA Cup in '70. But to go to a replay and win it at Old Trafford was a bit disappointing, and to win it in '76 was special. To win it at Wembley with your 100,000, which is not, which it went down to about 70, 78 or 80, whatever it was then in them days, but it was 100,000 crowd there, and the atmosphere was intense. It was fantastic, and we did it, and we could see these lovely people in yellow and blue shirts, which we had, and those yellow and blue colours, and you could pick them out, and it was a fantastic time.
Personally, for you, you scored in every round of the FA Cup victory of Chelsea.
Yeah.
But you saying Southampton was better?
Yeah, it was to win it at Wembley. It was. Yeah, I've got to admit. To score in every round, and obviously that year I went to Mexico with the world champions as well to play in the World Cup, which was a fantastic time in career. But every boy dreams of winning an FA Cup final. I mean, when you watch it as a kid at school, you watched the Wembley game, and you used to go out there and play, and you were a certain player. I was Jimmy Greaves or a Bobby Charlton or something like that, and I was very privileged to go and play against these players. But when you get there yourself, and then you think, wonder what these little kids are going to go. How many Peter Osgood was going to be out there today playing football?
And I mean, you as a kid, that high, you'd have been out there lifting cups up and thinking about what it'd be like.
Yeah, you always want to be a footballer at my age. When I started at 13, 14 years of age, everybody wants to be a footballer. Mine was no exception, and I had a lot of luck going through the game, start of the game, and came on through to Southampton. That's a fabulous 17-year career, which good times, bad times, which you can't have a perfect life. I would do exactly the same day by day for 17 years again. I was just speaking at St Mary's the other day at the supporters club, and they said, the DJ said, was that the greatest day of your life? And all the supporters were listening, and I said, collecting the cup from the Queen. I said, no, it wasn't. And they all stepped forward, and I said, collecting the cup from the Queen was fabulous. I should be picking it up, turning it to 33,000 of you lot and raising that cup. That was the greatest day of my life.
And what about the homecoming? I mean, you're used to being part of it, but even you, I bet, were just a bit shocked, a bit stunned by how huge it was.
Well, I mean, obviously 70 to Stamford Bridge, we came down the King's Road and the Fulham's Road, and went on the Fulham Road and all that, and unbelievable crowds, unbelievable. And we won the 71 Cup Winners' Cup against Real Madrid again. But I always remember we went to, when we won the Cup, we went to the Royal Lancaster and stayed there, and then went to Talk of the Town, and it was terrible. And my wife then rose, and I said, look, we don't like it, do we? And I said, no. And we went home. We went home to Windsor, where I lived at that time. And I went down the local pub that day at 11:45, and I rang the landlord. He said, come down early, Ozzy. And I bought a dozen bottles of champagne and 2 bottles of brandy. And my mum and dad and all my friends were there. And I left there about 12:15, because I had to get down to the Dell to get on the double-decker bus, and I nearly missed it. I couldn't get near the ground. I had to park my car and run about half a mile, which is, I never used to run in my days. I used to let the others do that. I used to just score the goals and just lay them on for them. But it was awesome, unbelievable. I mean, they reckon there were about 200,000 people, I think, around the city. Incredible.
And you're coming down the M3, you're heading towards Southampton, and you got the biggest surprise of your lives, didn't you?
Unbelievable. We came out of the hotel, and we woke up in the morning and I realised, the cup is there. So that was, we've done something. And I remember the cup sat in front of me on the little table in front. And we set off, and I could not take my eyes off this thing for about half an hour. And as we approached Eastleigh, I think, and we could see people waving across on the bridges coming down, which we thought, that's okay, that's cool, that's nice, that's friendly. And as we got closer to Southampton, round about Eastleigh, I turned to the right and all the bunting and the flags. I'm thinking, hello. And we had a promised trip around Southampton, popped into Ford's, pay our respects. They were there, the lads were there in strength. Right, okay, we're off now. We have to tour around the city. Well, I just, fresh in the area, knew lots of the streets, various things around Southampton. And I was at the front of the bus, and I was talking to Jimmy Steele. I said, Steely, I said, where are we now? He said, we're going down the Shirley High Street. And I couldn't see, with a mass of people there, exactly what street we were in.
How long did it take you to get around the city?
2 hours, 3 hours, I think, by the time we got around the city. And it wasn't a long journey, but there were 200,000 people there. And I was looking over the edge of the bus, looking at people much older than myself, 60, 70 years of age, in tears, as you held the cup there. And you look down and you think, we've done something special here.
Good singing voice you got, Ozzy.
Oh, well, mate, I'll tell you what, that day I'd have sung for anybody. It was superb. It was great atmosphere, great time for the fans, great time for us, and they deserved it.
Eventually got round to the town hall, up in with the Lady Mayoress at the time, and had to go out and say hello to everybody on the balcony and one thing, and just a mass of people. Incredible.
You can sing a bit as well, you know.
I'm one of the only few Welshmen that can't sing. It might have sounded all right on the day,
It
but
sounded
if
all right to me.
you pick it up closely, and it's not as good as the gaffer and I think Ozzy was it on the bus. I think, I'm not sure, but you couldn't help but sing that day. You know that everybody was singing, and it just seemed a normal thing to do. We could hear all the sirens from the ships down in the dock there, and it was unbelievable.
For you, Nick Holmes, how extraordinary was the FA Cup final? Because unlike all the others who'd been grafted in from different parts of the country, you were a local boy, literally born and bred there, and Southampton meant everything to you. So what was it like for you?
I was extremely nervous, I must admit. I've always been that way anyway. To have been of a young age, to have gone to Wembley Stadium to play in a cup final was nerve-wracking. I was very fortunate to have players such as Peter Osgood, Peter Rodrigues, Mick Shannon, all those that had tasted limelight before, knew how to handle all the things that were going on around, and they helped me get through it. As soon as a whistle goes, you're fine, because you're doing something that you basically know you can do, but all that paraphernalia beforehand, that was dreadful.
So they took you under their wing, didn't they?
Oh yeah, Ozzy in particular was very good. He did all my interviews for me. Yeah. He did everything for me. I think he even went to the toilet for me a couple of times.
And you're quite happy to say that, aren't you? Because by the same token, when the whistle went, you were a lion out there that day. Yeah. I think that's just the way it is. As soon as you can get on and do the things that you know you can do, or the things you think you know you can do, you relax or whatever. But when you have to, stand up and say things to people or whatever, and I was 21, I'd never done nothing before really, and all of a sudden you're thrust into national sort of TV cameras and everything, and I thought, this isn't me. God dear, no, let's get on the Saturday and let's play football. So you put the old the shirt on. Now, for you especially, I mean, when did you first go and see a game of football at Southampton? Oh, it was back early 60s. How old were you? I was 7. I went down, we were playing Stoke, and stood on the terraces. I couldn't see a damn thing, and my dad said there was nothing he could do. I mean, everyone else had little stools to stand on. He says, I'll buy your season ticket, we'll come up regular. And we had one in the Milton Road West, and we was there till, but they kept him on once I was playing still. So, like you said before, I'm Southampton born and bred, and I was very pleased to have done what I did with them. So in your back garden, you had dreamed about playing an FA Cup final for Southampton, I don't know, a couple of thousand times a week, and then suddenly, blow me. I, along with many others really, hundreds and thousands of others, dream about that as you're a kid, don't you? Kicking a ball against a
brick wall, your dad's house, or going through a greenhouse pane or something, as I regularly did for him. And it was a dream come true. And the fortunate thing was I was doing it in my team's colours.
To be the local boy with the local shirt, that does mean a lot to you.
I was just very fortunate. It's something that I'd dreamed about all my life, as hundreds of others would have done, and to have had that chance to do it for your team, the one you support, is very special.
But tell us about that beard. It was awful.
Yeah, it was. I've got to admit, it was awful. But it's like when you're young, you're superstitious for one thing, and you grew it. I don't know why I grew it to start with, but once the season started and things were going so well, I wasn't going to shave it off. And it wasn't until we won that game did I shave it off.
You must have got some stick.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I think the gaffer once tried to get me to shave it, but Oz again stuck up for me and said, "Nah, let him carry on wearing it." So yeah, I got plenty of stick.
What about the gaffer? What was he like?
Yeah, he was a special man. He was certainly different. He could go into any business around this country, and even if he didn't know anything about it, he would be able to motivate that team to get the best out of them. And that takes a special sort of person, and he did that. He realised we had to get big name players with good experience that could do the work out there, and he did that. Some of his team talks, I remember the one before the semi-final against Crystal Palace was excellent. He just went through their team, and they were a team of completely inexperienced compared to us. And he read out our team, and it was Rodriguez, 500 games, Osgood, 500 games, Shannon, 500 games. And apart from me, who had had 40 or 50, everyone else had had hundreds. And he said, at the end of the day, we've had 5,000 appearances, and they've had 500. He says, you're the experienced man, and that's what counts in these games. And it was very, very good. And that's where his strength lay.
You're a binding memory of that FA Cup day. What just sticks in your mind about it?
I think Bobby's goal. Maybe it's because I've maybe seen it so many other times than any other thing, but Bobby's goal, it was 1-0. We all love Bob as well. And I was first there to get to him. And yeah, that's what I remember, getting there to him, I think.
Now hang on, we've had 3 people in here today, and every one of them was first there to get him. So
I think you'll find that surely I'm quicker than Oz and Peter. And Peter was on the other side of the pitch. I think if you look at the camera work, I think I might have been first.
In spirit, you were all there first, weren't you?
Yeah, of course you were. Of course you were. But no, that was special. I mean, to have beaten United, the red-hot favourites on the day, and it's like it happens so often. You know, the unknown person gets the winning goal. Or it happened in those days. It happened far more, I know, and it was special for Bob.
Oh, you're so close to your family and all the rest of it. So what was it like? You know.
Oh, it's lovely. I mean, we're not a big family, but everyone that I had was there. Even my sister, who I don't think had ever seen a football match before in her life. I mean, she was there, and it's too difficult to explain, Andy. I mean, probably Ozzy and Peter might do a better job, but I mean, it's just memories, and the memories are there, and they'll always be there.
And you've then gone into, generations of Southampton sides, because they broke down, they came back in, Laurie rebuilt all the time. I mean, he was an extraordinary act, wasn't he, in the sense that it seemed to slip away, and he created other teams out of nowhere. But you were the linchpin throughout the whole of that time.
I was the common denominator, yeah. I was very fortunate. Firstly, I was fortunate enough to be left-sided, I think, and there's always been a sad lack of left-sided people around anyway. And I was a steady player. I was never one that would have had the greatest ability, skill-wise or whatever. But basically, you did what was asked of me, and that helped.
Yeah, modest, aren't you, as well?
No, not at all.